This is my Patriots Super Bowl ring. And I keep that up here in my office with me because every day when I sit down at this computer to do my coaching calls or do some work, I can look at that and be instantly reminded of one of the biggest accomplishments of my football career. What's up, guys? Welcome to the video. I'm sitting here in my living room watching the 49ers and the Eagles wildcard playoff game, and I love NFL playoff football. There's something special about the playoffs. The energy is different, and I can remember that being a visceral feeling when I was a player, that as soon as the playoffs rolled around, everything was just a little bit different. I will say this is one of the few times every year during the NFL season that I miss being a player. People ask me that all the time if I miss playing football, and generally the answer is no, because I don't. I've been retired long enough that it's out of my system and I'm far enough removed from it, and I don't miss the hustle and the grind of the day-to-day and the toll that it took on my body, etc. But one of the things that's special about watching NFL football, and particularly NFL playoff football, is that it reminds me that I can accomplish great things. It reminds me that I'm capable of doing great things because at one point in time, I was out on the field playing in games like this. And I don't do that as a way to brag. I don't do that as a way to try to pump up my ego or make myself feel better. I use that as a way, again, to remind myself of what I'm capable of. And I think that's a tool that all of us can use at some point to remind ourselves of our accomplishments, remind ourselves of the wins we've had in life, remind ourselves of the trophies that we've collected. Because at some point, almost all of us have done something that we're really, really proud of. We've done something that we can look back on and say, at that period of time or in that moment, I was great and I did something great. And I think it's so important to remind yourselves of your own greatness, of your own accomplishments. Take inventory of those wins that you've had in life, because it's so easy to be reminded of the failures. Those are usually what's top of mind, the things when we didn't quite get it right, the job that we didn't get, the relationship that didn't work, the thing that didn't go our way. There's plenty of those, but if you're honest, there's also plenty of wins. There's also plenty of things that did go right. There's also multiple times when you did get it right. There's also multiple times when your best was required and you gave your best and you showed up as your best and you got the outcome that you wanted. So as I'm sitting here watching this game, that's one of the things I'm reminded of. They're playing this game in Philadelphia at Lincoln Financial Field. I played in an NFC championship on Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. We lost that game, 2004 season with the Falcons, but I played in an NFC championship game. I played in multiple playoff games, played in and won a Super Bowl. Those are special memories for me, and they remind me of the greatness that I once accomplished and that I have that within me to accomplish great things. These are just some of the things that I keep around my house to remind me of some of the wins, some of the victories, some of the things I've accomplished in life. This is my Patriots Super Bowl ring. And I keep that up here in my office with me because every day when I sit down at this computer to do my coaching calls or do some work, I can look at that and be instantly reminded of one of the biggest accomplishments of my football career. I had a coach in San Francisco, a guy named George Stewart, that used to talk about accomplishments in the context of paintings. When we were all rookies, I remember him speaking to the whole rookie class and saying, hey, you all are starving artists right now. If you put in the work, you do things the right way, in a couple years, you'll have some paintings. And then you'll be able to retire however many years from now with a room full of paintings. And I always loved that saying, and I still use that today. Later on, a couple years down the road, Stu became my coach with the Falcons. I think I was probably in my third or fourth year then. And one of the things he said to me was, he said, you got some paintings on the wall now. Because I'd had a couple years experience in the league. I'd made some plays. I'd scored some touchdowns. I'd done some things. And I've never forgotten that. And I still refer to accomplishments or things that I've achieved or goals that I've hit as paintings. And I still say that to my friends. And I want you to start thinking about your life in the same way. Chances are, if you're my age, if you're in your late 20s, 30s, 40s, you got some paintings. You have some things that you've accomplished. And I want you to remember those things anytime you start thinking, am I capable? Can I do it? Maybe you're at a point where you've got to reinvent yourself. Maybe the job you've been at wasn't working out, or it doesn't fill any passion of yours, and it doesn't feel aligned with who you want to be or what you want to do. And you're in a position now where you're looking to pivot and start over. And maybe you're questioning yourself. I know I was there for a long time after I retired from football, wondering what value I could offer to the world. What was the next mountain to climb? And even if I found that mountain, did I have what it took to climb it? And you might be in that same position. And if you are, I want you to remember some of those accomplishments. I want you to look around the room and look at some of those paintings that you got hanging in your metaphorical room. Because I guarantee you've accomplished something, probably a number of things that you're proud of. You've got a lot of wins in your life. And trust me, nobody else is going to remind you of them. People don't like to remind people of their success. They love to remind us of our failures. They love to remind us of the times that we didn't quite make it. But not as often do they remind us of the wins, of the victories. I've got great people in my life, thankfully. I've got a great family and a great group of friends that remind me often of my wins and remind me often of the paintings that I have. Sometimes when I get in those funks and I feel down or feel like maybe I can't accomplish something. But ultimately, we've got to take that upon ourselves to remind ourselves of our victories and of our wins. I guarantee you, whoever you are, no matter where you're at, you've got some things in your life that you can look back on and say, damn, I did that. I made it through that difficult time. I got out of that bad spot. I turned a negative into a positive. I went from here and leveled up to here. Whatever it is, big or small, there's no accomplishment too small to register as a win or to hang as a painting on your wall. My encouragement for you in this video is to remember your victories. Remember those achievements. Remember those accomplishments. Take inventory of every time you set a goal and you accomplished it. We've got to start assimilating our minds and our thoughts towards the positive, towards the things that we've accomplished, and know that no matter what lies ahead of us, no matter what lies in front of us, we can climb the mountain. We can overcome the adversity. We can make it through the rough time. It's out there for you. It's out there, and you've done it before. So go do it again. As always, I appreciate you taking time out of your day to watch the video. If you made it this far, give me that like and subscribe. Trying to grow the channel so we can get the message out to more and more people. Hope you got value in this video, and I'll see you tomorrow on the next one.